Good morning, children. How are you? I hope that you all are fit and fine and very happy. Children, as you know that we have started the chapter, the Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role, written by Nani Palkhiwala, and in previous lecture, we have started the explanation of this chapter. So in today's lecture, also we'll continue the explanation of this chapter and the first I will read the paragraph and I'll then explain. So let's start the explanation of the next paragraphs of this chapter. So now next paragraph is children. First I read the paragraph. It has been well said that forests preceded mankind, deserts follow. The world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. And the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. James Speth, the president of the World Resource Institute, said the other day, "We were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second." Now, the meaning of the difficult words given in the paragraph, children. The first word is precede, meaning come before in order or position. And the second one is patrimony, means property inherited from father or ancestor. And the third one is deprives, meaning prevent a person from using something. Now, in this paragraph, children, the author is saying that forest and desert come first in order in comparison to humans. And the ancient inheritance of tropical forests is constantly wearing away at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. And also the author is giving us the information that also the burning of dung is preventing the soil to become natural fertilizer. And to meet the need for fuel wood demand, there is a need to increase the rate of forest plantation by five-fold by the year 2020. Now, children, according to the James Speth, the president of the World Resources Institute, James Speth, he is the president of the World Resources Institute. He said that we are losing the forest closer to an acres and a half to a second. Just see what he is saying. He said that we were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre to a second, but it is much closer to an acre and half to a second. यानी कहने का मतलब बच्चों ये है कि ये इस पैराग्राफ में ऑथर ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि ये बहुत ही उनके हिसाब से अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑथर कि ये बहुत अच्छी बात है कि जो ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस के से आगे यानी ह्यूमन ट्राइब से आगे जो जंगल हैं और पीछे रेगिस्तान है, यानी ये बहुत बड़ी और एक कही गई है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात कही गई है कि जो ह्यूमन जाति है यानी जो ह्यूमन ट्राइब है वो उसके आगे जंगल है, पीछे रेगिस्तान है। और जो ये ट्रॉपिकल फॉरेस्ट है वो जो मतलब जो वर्ल्ड की जो इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टी है, यानी एक इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टी है ट्रॉपिकल जो फॉरेस्ट है, वह कम से कम 40 से लेकर 50 मिलियन एकड़ जो है ज़मीन जो है वो प्रति वर्ष यानी एवरी ईयर जो है वो उसका जो हो रहा है वो क्या हो रहा है, उसका डिक्लाइनेशन हो रहा है। और जो डंग है, जो काऊ डंग हम जो यूज़ करते हैं, उसका जो यूज़ है वो हम ईंधन यानी फ्यूल वुड के रूप में हम कर रहे हैं, उसका भी जो है यूज़ जो है वो बढ़ता चला जा रहा है। इससे क्या हो रहा है, जो लैंड की जो इम्पॉर्टेंट नेचुरल फर्टिलाइज़र है बच्चों, वो लैंड को मिल नहीं पा रही है। और अकॉर्डिंग टू और वर्ल्ड बैंक का जो अनुमान है, अकॉर्डिंग टू द वर्ल्ड बैंक, कि जंगल लगाने की दर में कम से कम 5 गुनी जो है वो इंक्रीज चाहिए। जंगल मतलब लगाने की जो रेशियो है, जंगल लगाने का जो रेशियो है उसकी जो उसको इंक्रीज 5 टाइम्स उसको इंक्रीज होना चाहिए। तभी जो है 2000 में ईंधन की जो लकड़ी थी, जो फ्यूल के जो वुड था, उसकी जो मांग थी उसको पूरा किया जा सकता है। यानी 2000 में जो फ्यूल वुड की जो मांग थी, यानी ईंधन जलाने के लिए जो लकड़ी चाहिए था, उसकी डिमांड को पूरा करने के लिए कम से कम जंगल को 5 गुना ज़्यादा बढ़ना होगा। नाउ चिल्ड्रन, जेम्स स्मिथ जो कि वर्ल्ड रिसोर्सेज इंस्टीट्यूट के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, उन्होंने ये बात दूसरी तरीके से कही है। वो कहते हैं कि हम कह रहे थे कि हम जंगलों को 1 एकड़ प्रति सेकंड की दर से खो रहे हैं, लेकिन सच्चाई ये है कि यह 1.5 एकड़ प्रति सेकंड के काफ़ी ज़्यादा करीब है। What he said? He said that we are saying that we are losing the forest and an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. It means that the President James Smith, the President of the World Resources Institute, he said that we are losing the forest closer to an acre and a half to a second. Now next paragraph, children. Article 48A of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country. But what causes endless anguish is the fact that laws are never respected nor enforced in India. For instance, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability, and bonded labour shall be abolished. But they flourish shamelessly even after 44 years of the operation of the Constitution. A recent report of our Parliament's Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion of the India's forest over the last 4 decades. Now, India, according to reliable data, is losing its forests at the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by government statistics. Now the meaning of the difficult words given in the paragraph are, children, see the difficult words and their meanings. Endeavor, trying hard to achieve something. Second one is anguish, means pain or suffering. Third is casteism, discrimination on the grounds of caste. And the last one is catastrophic depletion. It means a harmful reduction in a number of something. Now in this paragraph, children, the author is telling us that according to Article 48A of the Constitution of India, the state should try to protect and improve the environment and must protect the forest and wildlife of the country. But he also sketched a very painful fact is that laws are not followed in India. In India, it is very painful, but the painful fact is that laws are not followed in India. For example, take the example that casteism, untouchability, and bonded labor, they are abolished but still are followed shamelessly. Over the last 4 decades, India is losing forests at a harmful rate of 3.7 million acres a year, as per the report of Parliament's Estimate Committee. The large area of the author further says that the large areas of forest land is now treeless, and the actual loss is estimated to be 8 times the rate given by government statistics. कहने का मतलब ये बच्चों कि 48A जो आर्टिकल है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली, उसके अनुसार जो है वो राज्य पर्यावरण को सुधारने और उसकी रक्षा करने का प्रयास करेगा और देश के जंगलों और वन्य जीवों को सुरक्षित रखेगा। ये आर्टिकल है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में दिया गया है फॉर द फॉरेस्ट, फॉर द प्रोटेक्शन, फॉर द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ नेचुरल फॉरेस्ट। लेकिन ऑथर कहता है कि लेकिन एक फैक्ट जो है वो बहुत ही पेनफुल है भारत में, भारत के लिए अगर हम कहें कि एक फैक्ट बहुत ही पेनफुल, वो ये कि भारत में ना तो कानून का सम्मान किया जाता है और ना ही उनको लागू किया जाता है। हम इस चीज़ का एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं कि संविधान कहता है कि जातिवाद, छुआछूत और बॉन्डेड लेबर यानी कास्टिज्म, अनटचेबिलिटी और बॉन्डेड लेबर यानी बंधुआ मजदूरी जो है वो ज़रूर ख़त्म होंगे। पर क्या है, संविधान को लागू किए गए 44 साल होने पर भी वे जो है शेमलेसली जो है वो फल फूल रहे हैं, इनको फॉलो किया जा रहा है। इन चीज़ों को जिसको संविधान ने कहा था कि वो समाप्त कर दिया जाएगा, तो ये बहुत ही शेमलेसली फॉलो किया जा रहा है। तो ये बहुत ही पेनफुल फैक्ट है और इसी की वजह से जो है 48 जो आर्टिकल है जिसमें कहा गया है कि राज्य जो है वो इन्वायरमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करेगा और मस्ट प्रोटेक्ट द फॉरेस्ट एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ ऑफ द कंट्री, लेकिन वो जो है इस लॉ, इस रूल को वो ह्यूमन बीइंग जो है वो फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं और जो है वो जंगल जो है वो काटे जा रहे हैं। सो द ऑथर इज सेइंग दैट कि over the last 4 decades, India is losing forest at a harmful rate of 3.7 million acres a year, as per the report of Parliament's Estimates Committee. And the author is saying that in India, the laws are never respected nor enforced, and then in the last, the author is saying that in this paragraph that actual loss of forest is 8 times more than the government data. Now the next paragraph is, children, a 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human society. It took mankind more than 1 million years to reach the first billion. This was the world population around the year 1800. By the year 1900, a second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. Now see the meaning of difficult word. One word is given, distorting. It means deform or disfigure. Now children, in this paragraph, what the author is trying to say that according to the 3-year study conducted by the United Nations, satellites and aerial photography, our environment has got so bad that in 88 countries it has reached to the critical stage. And the growth of world population at such a fast rate is one of the strongest reasons behind the distortion of the future of mankind. Behind the disform of the future of mankind. And then author says that when it took more than 1 million years to reach the first billion population, in the next 100 years, the population number increased by the next billion numbers. Then what happened? In the 20th century, the population reached 3.7 billion. And the present number is what? 5.7 billion. Now presently, so children, presently what is happening? Presently the case is of the population increasing by 1 million every 4 days. यानी कहने का मतलब है कि प्रत्येक 4 दिन में संसार की जनसंख्या में 1 मिलियन की वृद्धि हो जाती है. Now this is the what author is saying that. Author is saying that in the 20th century the population reached 3.7 billion and the present number is what? 5.7 billion. Now what is happening? Presently the cases of the population increasing by 1 million every 4 days. Now the next paragraph is, children, fertility falls as income rise, education spreads and health improves. And thus development is the best contraceptive, but development itself may not be possible if the present increases in numbers continues. the rich get richer, and the poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. More children does not mean more workers, merely more people without work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized. But there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion. The choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty. Now let's see the meaning of the difficult words. Now the first word is beget, give life to, condemns, find guilty of something, sterilized, make free from bacteria or other microorganism. Voluntary means done or given of one's free will, and coercion means force, and perpetuation means keep going. So children, I will read the left paragraphs continuously one by one, then I will explain the left paragraphs one by one. So children, the next paragraph is, first I will read the paragraph. Okay children, so next paragraph is, the population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the entire population of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the condition in India would doubt that the hope of the people would die in their hungry hutments unless population control is given topmost priority. For the first time in Indian human history, we see a transcending concern, the survival not just of the people but of the planet. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. The environment problem does not necessarily signal our demise, it is our passport for the future. The emerging New World vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. Now the meaning of the difficult words, children. Hutments means collection of huts, and transcending concern means a concern that existed for a very long time and has passed down from one generation to another. मतलब कहने सकते कि बढ़ती हुई चिंता, that is called transcending concern. Transcending means बढ़ता हुआ concern माने चिंता करना यानी worry करना. And the demise is death. Ushered, guide someone somewhere. So in these two paragraphs, children, the author is saying that development is the best possible solution for overpopulation. Now author is giving the solution to control the population in these two paragraphs, and he has suggested some measures and steps. Now what he says that development is the best possible solution for overpopulation, and it can help in reduction in fertility and rise in income, to spread more education and improvement in health. But if the number of population will keep increasing, it may not help in attaining any kind of development. Because as the rich get richer, the poor births children who are bound to remain poorer. More population lead what? More population will lead to more unemployment. And humans should not be, an author is saying that, an author believes that humans should not be treated like cattle who are sterilized by force. But to control population, some element of force has been put on for family planning. Some force has to be put on family for family planning. Now what author is saying that now human have to choose between population control and keep up with poverty. And next the author is saying that the population of India, he is giving the information in next paragraph that the population of India is 920 million. That is more than the population in Africa and South America together. If the population is not controlled, what happened? Then what will happen? Most of the people would die in their huts with just a hope. But with time, people are now concerned about the survival of the planet. Now, with many awareness programs, with many things, people are now concerned. Now now the people become concerned about the survival of the planet, about the protection of the planet, about the conservation of the planet. Now, we have now started to see our existence with a comprehensive view. Now, solving environmental problems are a passport to the future. Now, the author is saying that if we solve the environmental problem, we would provide a passport to the future for ourselves, for our generation. So, solving environment problems are just like a passport to the future and should not be seen as a remark for our death. So we should, and in the last, the author is saying that we should see the world as a whole and not as different parts. So this is the explanation, children. What author is saying? Author is thinking about the world population. He is suggesting some steps and measures measures to control the population, and the author has a hope that if we control the population, if we solve the environmental problems, then we would then after that, what happened, we would provide a passport to the future. And the author is saying that we should see the world as a whole and not as different parts. तो बच्चों, कहने का मतलब ये है, ऑथर इन पैराग्राफ्स में ये कहना चाह रहा है कि अगर जनसंख्या में, अगर पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज होती है, अगर जनसंख्या बढ़ती है, तो धनी और धनी होते हैं, निर्धन बच्चे और पैदा होते हैं, और इस तरह वे हमेशा जो है वो पुअर ही रहेंगे, वो हमेशा पुअर बने रहेंगे, निर्धन बने रहेंगे, गरीब बने रहेंगे। ज़्यादा बच्चों का मतलब है कि ज़्यादा श्रमिक नहीं, बल्कि इसका एक मतलब है कि ज़्यादा अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, यानी ज़्यादा बेरोजगार लोग। तो इस और ऑथर ये भी कहता है कि इसका बिल्कुल ये मतलब नहीं है कि इंसानों को या मानव के साथ पशुओं की तरह, यानी जानवरों की तरह व्यवहार, और अनिवार्य रूप से उनको मतलब फोर्सफुली जो है वो फैमिली प्लानिंग के लिए किया जाए, बट लेकिन वो अपनी जो है वो अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर विश, वो अपनी इच्छा से जो है वो परिवार नियोजन के बारे में सोचे, जिसमें कोई फोर्स उन पे लागू ना किया जाए, ऐसा कोई ऑप्शन ना हो। और ये भी ऑथर कहते हैं लास्ट में कि अगर जो पर्यावरण की जो समस्या है, जो एक प्रॉब्लम है, अगर हम उसको सॉल्व कर देते हैं, तो वो जो सॉल्यूशन होगा वो हमारे लिए भविष्य के लिए एक पासपोर्ट का काम करेगा। और इस तरह के जो नए कंसर्न हैं, नए आइडियाज़ हैं, ये जो नए विचार है, जो अब हम अवेयरनेस जो है टुवर्ड्स द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द ग्लोब, ये जो है एक नए एरा की इसने शुरुआत की है। और ऑथर कह रहे हैं कि ये एक ऐसा आउटलुक है, एक ऐसा थॉट है जो पूरे वर्ल्ड को अलग अलग नहीं बल्कि एक रूप में देखना पसंद कर रहे हैं। सो द ऑथर इज सेइंग दैट कि वी शुड सी द वर्ल्ड एज अ होल एंड नॉट एज डिफरेंट पार्ट्स। Now the next paragraph is, children, industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. What a transformation would be effected if more businessmen shared the view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woodard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He said, "Our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance." Now, in this paragraph, children, the author is saying that in the era of responsibility towards the environment, industry plays an important role. And if we accept the thought of DuPont, Mr. Woodard, who was a chairman, who declared himself as a chief environmental officer, and if we accept his thought and such thought, then it would be a great effect in our life. So he said that the author is saying that in the era of responsibility towards the environment, industry plays a very important role. And the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Woodard, who declared himself as a chief environmental officer, and such attitude in other businessmen can have a great effect on the transformation. So कहने का मतलब ये है बच्चों कि ऑथर ये कह रहे हैं कि जिम्मेदारी के इस नए एरा में, यानी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की इस नए एरा में, जहाँ हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है कि हम अपने ग्लोब को, अपने अर्थ को किस तरीके से हम उसको बचाएं या उसको प्रोटेक्ट करें ताकि हमारे आने वाले जनरेशन उसको बेटर सिचुएशन में उसको पाए। तो इस जिम्मेदारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के इस युग में, इस एरा में इंडस्ट्री का जो, यानी उद्योग का जो एक रोल है वो बहुत ज़्यादा जो है इम्पॉर्टेंट है, और इसकी कंट्रीब्यूशन उसको प्ले करना ही बहुत ज़रूरी है। और अगर क्या ये बदलाव आएगा अगर हम दूसरे इंडस्ट्रीज बिजनेसमैन जैसे ड्यूट पोंट के चेयरमैन मिस्टर एडलर एल वुलार्ड के विचारों को हम अपनाते हैं, जिन्होंने 5 वर्ष पहले खुद को कंपनी का मुख्य जो है वो मुख्य इन्वायरमेंटल अधिकारी के नाम से उन्होंने डिक्लेयर किया था अपने आप को। और उन्होंने ये कहा था कि प्रमुख निर्माता के रूप में हमारा पहला अस्तित्व, जो सतत सबसे बड़ा अस्तित्व अपेक्षा करता है कि हम इन्वायरमेंट के कार्यों में एक दूसरे से आगे बढ़कर रहे। So the last paragraph of the chapter is, children, of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her felicitous words, "No generation has a free hold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease." In the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. Now see the meaning of the difficult words. Decisively means clear and definitive, and felicitous means well chosen, and freehold means permanent tenure of land or property, and tenancy means possession of the land. Now in this paragraph, children, the author is saying that when Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister, her one statement which was so well chosen, she said that no human on this earth holds a permanent tenure. We all have life possession and have a full repairing lease. And according to Mr. Lester Brown, we have borrowed this earth from our children, and we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. कहने का मतलब कि मार्गरेट थैचर ने अपने प्रधानमंत्री समय में जितने भी स्टेटमेंट दिए, बयान दिए, उनमें से कोई भी इतने निर्णायक, इतने ज़्यादा डिसीजनफुल नहीं थे जित रूप से, मतलब फेमस नहीं थे कि अंग्रेज़ी उसमें यूज़ में ना आया हो, जितने की उनके ये स्टेटमेंट था। उन्होंने बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टेटमेंट दिए, लेकिन ये जो स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने दिया था वो सबसे ज़्यादा जो है वो इफ़ेक्टिव था। और ये स्टेटमेंट जो मार्गरेट थैचर ने दिया था, उन्होंने कहा था कि किसी भी पीढ़ी का पृथ्वी पे पूर्ण जो है वो अधिकार नहीं है। व्हाट शी हैज़ गिवन दैट, शी सेड दैट कि नो ह्यूमन ऑन दिस अर्थ होल्ड्स अ परमानेंट tenure. We all have life possession and a full repairing lease. और former जो मार्गरेट थैचर, who was the former PM of England, she has given the statement. This statement was very effective. And the author is saying that कि last में author कहते हैं कि लेस्टर ब्राउन one of the environmental officer, or you can say that what he said that we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our children. So children, we will stop here, and now we have finished this chapter, and children, we have finished the chapter, and also I will send the PDF of the previous chapter also, the question answer of the previous chapter also I will send you, and also I will send you the question answer of this chapter. Okay children, so we have finished our prose section, and now in next lecture we will start our supplementary section, that is the snapshot. Okay children, so take care of yourself and your family, and always have a good smile on your face. Goodbye.